click record now. Okay, this is Alyssa Mims interviewing Beverly Vaughn on November 19th, 2021. Do you give permission for this interview to be recorded and for the recording to be preserved in the Stockton archives?
Yes.
Would you give your permission if parts of this interview are used on Stockton Stories site or Stockton web pages?
Yes. Would I mind? Absolutely not.
Okay, thank you. All right, we can get started. Okay, so first, I'm honored to be interviewing you after doing some research about you over the past couple months. And you can stop, past couple months, past couple weeks, and you can stop me if I get anything wrong.
Okay.
I'm very interested in you. First, I wanted to ask you, what year did you begin teaching here at Stockton?
I started in the 82-83 school year, 1982. Can you believe that? 1982, 1983.
You look good.
You better talk that stuff, girl. All right now.
Great. And what made you pick Stockton? Like, what was Stockton offering, or what did you want to pick here to start teaching here?
I was glad Stockton picked me. I had just finished graduating from Ohio State with my doctorate degree in music, right? And I remember looking at my daddy and said, "Don't worry, Daddy, I'm gonna get a job. I'm gonna get a job." Because he was helping me and my parents, right? But I was so glad when I got up. No, let me tell you the background of the story. The gentleman at the time who was the vice provost for academic affairs or for minority affairs, pardon me, was I need to start the recording one more time. Can we start the recording one more time? Because I'm going but way too much. Can we start one more time?
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna starting again. Okay. So my first question was, well, I'm gonna go back and say I'm very honored to be interviewed.
Oh, thank you.
Today.
Thank you.
And my first question was, what made you begin teaching here at Stockton?
I was happy to get a job. Are you kidding? And then when they brought me out here for the interview, it was way before Stockton was built up with as many buildings as it has now. So when they brought me out and we went down this long road, because I came from Columbus, Ohio, I said, where are they taking me? Where am I going? Much to my surprise, the place where they took me would be a part of my life for all these many, many years. And it gets better and better and better. So why did I choose Stockton? Because Stockton was kind enough to choose me.
Beautiful. And I did hear that you are from Columbus, Ohio, and you graduated.
That's right.
Yes, and you graduated. You went to school in Ohio.
Well, my undergraduate degree was from a Seventh-day Adventist university in California. I am Seventh-day Adventist. However, I grew up in Columbus, born in Ohio, but grew up in Columbus from about the age 3 or 4. So I was happy to get my master's and doctorate at The Ohio State University.
Beautiful. And then, like, what made you choose music as your degree? Like, what drew you to that field of study?
Well, you know, my family's always been musical, particularly in church music. Even as we talked about, by the way, everyone, that I know members of her family as well because of church music in Atlantic City. So that has always been a part of my background. Growing up, my mother played for church. I certainly did, in direct choirs. And music was always a part. In fact, my father, mother, brother, and I had a little family quartet. And we would sing on trips. We would sing on Friday nights. And whenever we got together, we had certain songs that Daddy taught us that I have taught here at Stockton to the choirs and in seminars and workshops all over the world. The little songs that my dad taught. So how did I get in music? It's part of my background. My cousins won Grammys and played for this and that. So it's been part of me. Now, I was started off going to undergraduate school. My first semester, I was going to be a medical doctor. I wanted to be a missionary. Much to my father's surprise and my parents' surprise, they sent me all the way out to California. My daddy said, "You want to study music?" But many, many years later, y'all, my choir would surprise me here at Stockton many years ago and brought my parents here to watch me conduct a big performance with orchestra and with choir. After it was over, I almost cried because my father stood up and said to me that every brick he laid was worth it when he saw me here at Stockton.
Yes,
Oh, true, don't they?
yes. I'm gonna need pictures. I'm gonna need pictures of that family.
Well,
There
thank you.
has to.
Now you're gonna make me look through my pictures. Thank you. And if I don't have them, my Aunt Doris has them. If Aunt Doris doesn't have them, my brother has them. If my brother has, we'll find you pictures.
Yes, that sounds amazing just from the start of it and what got you into it. And then how do you think like having a background in music affected your teaching in music?
Well, let me say this. I talked about my family background, but also I have to talk about the teachers and the things that I was exposed to in my graduate life. And I had a professional life right before I came to Stockton. I had the opportunity to sing opera at a couple of the major opera houses in the world. And also in my early days at Stockton, I had a chance to go on a tour of 70 European cities in a show called
Wow.
Carmen Jones. So what I bring this up because this enriches your teaching. So when you're teaching things like music history one, I can say, I was actually in Venice. As I talk about the importance of Venice in the music, or guess what? When I talk about the importance of London and the development of Western music, I can say, oh yeah, I was there. Even more important, when I teach a class like, and I love this class, I love all my classes, but let me talk about this one, the music of African Americans. And as we begin to talk about influences that have come from Africa that influence our music, I can say, oh yeah, I was there. I got one of those tours. I was there. So that helps your teaching, doesn't it? Personal experiences, understanding what things are about and how things are put together.
Wow. I mean, can you say you have traveled the world or
I
you
listen. Actually, if I have not, you said, okay, you heard of travel the world, travel the world.
and then and you debuted your career in Gershwin's Porgy and Bess. Am I right?
You did your research. I sure did. At the Opera House in Graz, Austria, I was the strawberry woman. Oh, actually, I had myself 2 lines. I was too proud of myself. And I was also part of the ensemble. That's who's the group of people that sing behind the soloist or respond to scenes. So I was in the ensemble, but I did have my 2 lines talking about, oh, they so sweet and fine, strawberries. So yes,
I
I
love
said,
that. That is amazing. And like I know what's it called? I know being in shows like that, it's you have some stories to tell. You've dealt with different people, you've dealt with different ages and groups and ethnicities and like how do you teach that type of show business since you've been in the show business? Like how do you teach that to your students? Like what advice would you give your students about showbiz and about
well, first of all, I would tell my students to take as many classes as they can. Stockton, we're very fortunate in our music program and our dance program and our theater program. So you have a chance to be enriched by taking classes in all of them, perfecting your skill as much as you have. And then the determination and the sweating it out for audition and getting parts. Those are things that people can't teach you. We can give you tips, but we can't teach you. That's something inside of you. So, but how does this really impact my teaching, especially in terms of general studies classes and in terms of what we call our core classes in the music program? That's a little easier with the core classes because these students are thinking about music. But actually ask yourself, so how do you come in before a class that has never heard of Beethoven, that has never heard of Stravinsky, and how do you take these Western ideals and translate them in a way that our classroom will understand it? And remember, I've been here a while, so students are the same and they change. And that's one of the great challenges that I love about being at Stockton. That's one of the great challenges of education. How can I present it in such a way that at least you'll think about it? At least you'll try and you'll see that there are certain things, whether the music is from England or whether the music is from South Africa, whether the music is from Saudi Arabia or whether it is from Bolivia, whether the music is from Nepal or whether it is from Somalia, there are some elements that are still the same, that the students can, relate to. And I think that's one of my goals, to find out what is that common DNA that you will enjoy it as well. And let me add one more thing, that what I'm happy to see as the years go by here at Stockton, girlfriend, the diversity of my classes. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Okay, so like this semester in one of my classes, no, in all my classes, we went around and said, well, what's your background? Well, what's your background? You should have seen it, child. The people from, we have somebody from that has a background from from Greece, another person that has a background from the Mayans, another people that have background from Honduras, another people that have background from Georgia, another people right. It goes around and around and around and around and around and around and around.
Yes.
Today, that diversity and inclusion, I couldn't be more excited.
Yes, and you get to teach such a universal like language, music.
Exactly. And like whether or not you like it, I want to see that at least you tasted it, right? At least that's part of your liberal education. And then, of course, in our program classes, those are the things designed for music majors. We want to make sure that you have a grounding and the principles that put Western music together and how it's applied to the other musics of the world as well.
Yes. And like, how would you describe Stockton 50 years ago? Like, how would
I wasn't here 50 years ago.
Well, I did think you was my age, but I'm
okay. Now, y'all that are listening to the interview, girlfriend is, y'all give her applause for that. She was right on cue. She didn't stumble. That was excellent. Okay, you better go, girl. That was excellent.
I mean, meaning more like, how would you describe it when you first got here versus now? Like diversity and
right. Okay, so when I first came here, Stockton, of course, was much smaller. A lot of the buildings were here. I found that with Stockton being much smaller, let me think about my answer as I say this. Faculty and staff, we kind of knew each other. We still kind of know each other now, but we've had that more of a university feeling. Whereas I see some of my colleagues and they see me maybe once every month. It's not that we don't see each other and it's not that we don't know each other, but whereas when I first came to Stockton, everybody kind of knew everybody. The faculty was smaller and the staff was smaller. So that probably created more of a, I want to say family, but that's the wrong word, of a community where everybody knew each other. Because certainly in every family, let me be careful when I say that, every family, but there can disagreements come up. Everybody doesn't have to see the same way, but there was the same commitment to the Stockton dream. The Stockton dream that was when I first came and the Stockton dream that is now, I believe that it has only grown and amplified. I believe that the dream is still there, not only still there, but growing as it should, right? We should be dynamic. We should have these changes. When I see people coming up like doing first gens and all this stuff and first Osprey, I'm going like, yeah. We had people like that before. And even as we should, we got Atlantic City campus, Hamilton campus, new buildings on this campus. There's a couple buildings I haven't even been in yet. Okay, hello. We're talking about that's the way it should be. We got you. We got the person that's doing the directing, that's recording this. We got y'all. We got your teacher. You know I'm excited. So that's how it should grow.
Yes, I think I was, when did they ever change Stockton into Stockton University? Because wasn't it Richard?
Okay. Yeah, it was Stockton College. But then when I first, you guys, when I first came, it was Stockton State College.
Oh. Wow.
Then it changed to Richard Stockton College. I hope I'm not missing one. And then it changed to Stockton University. I want to say, did it change like about 2000? Don't ask me, 2009, 2011, something like that.
It was definitely when I was young, because I remember it was such a big deal. And then
Stockton
became such a became such a big like a bigger picture, kind of like
isn't that something? It was already great, but a name change. Isn't that something?
Yeah, and a couple more buildings. And a couple
more buildings, girlfriend. Not a couple more buildings.
A lot more buildings. Yes, yes. And then and just like you know, you being a female, okay, because you know, that plays a part, a Black African American female at that.
Yes, it does.
But but how does being a female in Stockton, even when you came in here, where was women present such a big thing here at Stockton teaching?
Right,
Or
right. Okay, when I first came, I don't know if you have met Dr. Pat Reed Merritt yet, and also Dr. Sean Allison. They are still on the faculty. They
Mhm,
were here when I first came. They were young faculty members, and I think both of them were working on their doctorate. And there were people that were here, African Americans of Black descent, right?
mhm,
But we weren't the numbers that we are today. In fact, as I look back and think back, although I was not there the founding year, certainly this is one of the reasons pushing for the rights and making sure that we were seen and observed, that Dr. Mary Merritt, Dr. Donaldson, and other colleagues of that time put together the Council of Black Faculty and Staff. It was an
mhm,
advocacy,
mm,
Black faculty and staff. And also there's the encouragement of UBSS. That was already there when I came. And when I came, I was able to, and even though I'm not directing them now, was able to start or rejuvenate the gospel choir. So there are more elements of Blackness. But now your question is, how did we feel? We had people like Will James that were strong spoken, and Pat Reed Merritt, strong advocates for Blacks. We had a gentleman here. Oh, girl, I wish you could know Dr. James. I wish you could know Dr. Franklin Smith. Oh my God. I was young and Franklin would say, hey, Beverly, boy, what's with you? Right? We had people that looked out for our students. And I think the only thing, you didn't ask this question, Ashley, but I would say the only thing that I would like to see better is that I felt that in the early days, because we were smaller, we knew our African American, our minority students.
mm,
We knew all of them. If you talk to anybody that graduated, let's say from 1985 till around 2005, they know the African American or the minority faculty. That is not true today. It happened with you and me. It
yeah.
happened for you to say, I'm not happy to meet you. And how long have you been in Stockton?
I've been here for 2 years.
Now, see, you should have known me like within a month. We should have met
Right?
each other in a month. And that's my only thing that I wish that we as a minority faculty could somehow climb that bridge. I think what's happened, and we owe this to Dr. Chris Ketching, that he has really brought in a lot of people in that the middle section, like Dr. Edmondson, Dr. George Johnson. We have the Atlantic City campus, and we have people that are brought in to do things. You know what I mean? They're really advocates for you guys. Marcus Johnson, I could go on down the list. They're just wonderful.
Yeah.
Actually, Dr. Albers. But so you guys are meeting them, but be standing behind them unless you're in our classes. They're like, there's a whole row of us that want to know you and want you to know us. We got to think of a way to, melt it, not
Yeah.
cut it down, or do something that you guys will know us as well. And we have your back.
Yeah, I wish they could bring something like that. I mean, we have clubs, but nothing like faculty and students connecting.
That's what I'm talking about. Because we have wonderful connections with staff and students. I mean, oh my goodness. I could talk about Madeline. I could talk about Tony. I could go on and talk about. Well, there's so many people. Please excuse me for calling them by their first names, but we have so many people, right? That are absolutely amazing. But we got a whole row of faculty
Yeah.
back. Like, I wish they knew us too. I go to a lot of student events. Sometimes Dr. Allison, Donnie Allison, of course, and I might be the only ones there from the faculty. Maybe we need to show up more often or something like that. But there must be a way. There must be a way.
There must be a way. Do you think like even 50 years from now, like what do you think the faculty will look like? What do you think the student body will look like?
I think what I think and what I hope for
Mhm.
is that the student body will be the student body. I think that the student body will preserve individual heritages. No matter, I don't want us to forget where we're from
Mhm.
and what our ancestry is and what our historical and cultural DNA is, right? But it's my hope that 50 years from now that we won't have these questions. Nobody will blink when somebody is present, when somebody is in their class, right, it won't even be, and I find it in my classes now, but it won't even be a question. But
Mhm.
we will be judged on what we do and how we act, and not our color or ethnicity. It's not even going to take 50 years. 50 years from now, your grandchildren, I don't even know if they're going to go to class. They're probably going to be able to buy something at Best Buy, click in their ear.
I know. They're gonna
Right? What's going to happen to the buildings, girlfriend? 50 years
they're
from
gonna
now?
be they're gonna be floating in air at that
Come
point.
on now, 50
They're
years
gonna
from now.
it'll be so virtual. It'll be crazy.
Come on. You know,
Yeah.
we'll pass by. See, this, everybody will be a tour guide. This is what was known as a university.
We'll pass by. It'll be like instant. Everything's just how
Yeah,
it was
right.
back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like something like that, I hope Stockton looks completely different. I think it looks different now, but it could,
Oh,
be
girlfriend,
better.
it really looks different now.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
really looks different now. Yeah, it's more, even though we have a long way to go. We got a
Mhm.
long way to go.
Yeah. And
But
then I did my little research on you. So I know I'm talking to a Divine Nine Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority.
hold on. I have the wrong color on because I got red on.
You do
Oh my
got
God. Hold on 1 second. Okay, stop it. Stop the thing. I gotta go get my pen.
okay. Okay. Oh goodness, so funny. Mm, 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 mm.
Okay, you can make them coming back. Coming back.
Okay, I got you. Oh, there we go.
Hey, I'm back.
There we
Listen, the
go.
only reason I didn't put this on from the beginning when recording, because my cap, I said, oh, it's too dirty to be in. But shoot, I got to put my pink and green on. Look, and my pearls.
Yes, I love to see it. I love to see it, and I wanted to ask, like, how being a part of that or beautiful organization in sorority, like, how did that mold you into who you are? Because
Well, I
you're doing your thing.
pardon me.
You're doing your thing. You're doing you are making such a great impact on Stockton. So I just wanted to know how that impacted you.
Now, before I answer that question, I see a great future for you too. I see you being president. You know, the way you said you're making a great impact on Stockton. See, you know how to talk. I like that. I like that. I like that. God, you heard that. Travel all over the world, impact on Stockton. Hey.
I can't be lying now. I can't be lying. Everything that come out of my mouth is true.
But how did AKA impact?
Yes.
If it were not for Stockton, I would not be AKA. We had a tremendous lady that was over the affirmative action. I think she came a few months after I did, and she was also the special chief of staff to Dr. Vera King Ferris. Do you know who she was?
I do, but I do not. I know I've heard the name, but I don't know.
That's embarrassing.
The
Not because
detail.
you heard the name, but that we need to make sure there's no other. She was African American woman who was president of Stockton for 20 years.
Wow. See?
I rest my case, right?
Mm,
I rest my case. And
mm.
if you the pictures of the presidents in the campus center, she's the only woman president in the campus center as you walk down the stairs, right? So I rest my case. So what happened was that Dr. High then was AKA and is AKA. She's been AKA for what, 60 years, maybe something like that. 60 or
Whoa.
70 years, AKA, she's in our chapter. And she said, well, Bev was, and thanks to her, I was able to go through the initiation and be in the chapter. We have an Atlantic City chapter called Theta Kappa Omega. And that's how I became AKA. I was already a teacher. However, here's what really made me fall in love with AKA.
Mhm.
So, okay, it was like in my first year being an AKA. this is like 1992, 93, something like that.
Mhm.
And I had the nerve to go to an AKA convention of several chapters and regions. And this is a true story, sort of. The person on my left was Judge so-and-so, and the soror on my right was Dr. Blank, 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 blank. And
Oh,
we were in the audience. We were in the audience. There were no keynote speakers. And the lady behind me, I'm making this up, was like president of blank, 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 blank bank. And I went, AKAs, oh my God. Right? So, and then as the more I stay in the sorority,
mhm.
and I'm talking about the sisterhood on the graduate level. Can you imagine had I started undergraduate? My university didn't have sororities and fraternities at that time. But it has made such an imprint in my life when I think about my chapter and Dr. Hyde's chapter, and also Diane Stalling, who is one of the assistant directors of student development. She is also in that same chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Incorporated. I am continually moved and impressed by the caliber of my sorors in my chapter, but also their heart and what they do. I mean, you cannot help but be inspired by these ladies. Now, the inspiration doesn't end right in the chapter meeting. This is what I like about it. The inspiration spreads throughout the entire community and our entire world. A chapter, a sorority that's destined, that's determined, that's developed for service to all mankind. That's what makes me stick with Alpha Kappa Alpha.
Yes, I know someone well, she was an AKA, but she, she talks about excellence and education and things like that. Say it again.
Is she from Atlantic City?
She sadly passed away last year.
Oh.
Her name was Brenda Amato.
Oh my goodness, you asked me, but did I know her right? Oh my God.
So yeah, she sadly passed away, but
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. But she was a proud AKA member, and I just remember her talking about the excellence and the education. She was so big on education. She was a teacher in Atlantic City, but
most of us are just like so. Brenda, most of us are
yeah,
are teachers, but not only stops there, but also judges, lawyers, and I'm talking about my chapter, right? It goes on and on and on, and then also regular people. We're talking about titles. But after titles come and go, right, Ashley? Titles can come and go, and it doesn't ensure that you're going to be a nice person, nor does it ensure you're going to be a rich person. But how inside, what's inside of it? Now, you're talking to an Alpha Kappa Alpha, but I'm sure a Delta would say the same thing. A Sigma would say the same thing. And as you continue down the Divine Nine, you probably find this theme reoccurring again and again.
Yes, yes. And your sorority, do you wish to see more diversity in the sororities and Divine Nine fraternities at Stockton? Because I know it's not such a big thing here.
Well, when you say diversity, or do you mean numbers?
Because I mean active. Yeah, I mean numbers. Yeah, I would say numbers.
Okay, right, because the Alpha Kappa Alpha is an African American woman sorority.
Yeah.
Now, can people join it? Is it open for everybody? The answer is yes, but it is predominantly that, isn't it? And the Divine Nine are predominantly that. But can people join? Of course. Of course, we'd like to see the numbers greater. We always want to see numbers greater, but it takes me a while. I have to learn this time and time again. That we'd like to have a lot of numbers. Wouldn't it be great to have a class that fit into Alton Auditorium? Or wouldn't it be great when we gave our concerts to have 2,000 or 3,000 people come? The numbers are gratifying, but it's the people, it's the spirit that's the most important thing. Sometimes it's hard to say, isn't it? But it's the spirit, the essence of the thing that's the most important. I'm saying that while I'm thinking, well, I really want this, really want that, but it's still the essence. So 3 good sorors, 4 good sorors in our Pi Chi chapter.
Yes.
Can mean a whole lot. Do I want to see it grow? Absolutely. I'm not the graduate sponsor, but I'm proud of the sorors that we do have there.
That's true. That is true. That is true.
You better say amen, girl. You put with that.
I didn't want to make the interview,
I know, I'm messing with you.
I was like, let me keep it.
Yeah, because I might go downstairs and go, dun, dun. I have a keyboard downstairs, dun, dun, my piano downstairs, right?
I think I've heard you teach your class while I was next door. And
you,
when I tell you,
yeah,
an H building or
that's
K,
right. It's 102. That's right.
yep, and I heard you and I could hear the piano, and you was like, come on now, like, come on, people, y'all got it in you. I need to hear it. And it was so funny. It was just, we were just sitting there and it was just like, we had to take a pause, like, what's she saying in there? And it was just, but yeah, you was teaching, you was trying to teach them and trying to get
Yeah,
it out of them.
yeah, yeah.
But
It probably was a cool class.
I
Yeah.
wanted to ask if you had any upcoming projects in the works,
Well,
any
we
shows.
did have an upcoming project. We were supposed to do the Handel's Messiah. That's the biggest concert that we give every 2 years in the music program. And I'm sure some of your family has been to it. We have given 3 times at Borgata, once at Hard Rock, before it was Hard Rock. And we've did it St. Tolentine's Catholic Church in Atlantic City and on campus. And that's our concert where several 100,000 people come, and the choir is like 300 or 400, 200 or 300, and we have orchestral ensemble and stuff like that. However, we had to postpone it last Monday what was last Monday? Last Monday was the 8th. Yeah, we decided to postpone because I'm having trouble with my neck and back. I'm not gonna say trouble, but I'm working on it because I don't want to say what it is, right? It's getting better.
It's gonna, yes, it's gonna,
You see what I'm saying?
better than what it is.
Amen. I'm sorry. Yes.
Go
And
ahead.
so,
Go ahead.
and so we had to postpone it, but that's our biggest every 2 years in the music program. However, we do have coming up, we have a concert coming up of Mozart, believe it or not, in the spring. The Highest Praise Gospel Choir has their concert coming up. Plus, the Stockapella has a concert coming up on the 20th. I'm turning back, looking at the calendar on the 29th in CCT. They're award-winning. We love them. Stockapella's coming up. And the chorale, they'll be in the Stockton Chorale, they'll be in a joint concert. And then next semester, we have coming up Stockton Pops, and all of them have concerts. Now, those are our academic, plus Stockapella and the Highest Praise. Those are our number one. Highest Praise is our gospel choir. Those are our number one student organizations. However, me personally, I have some workshops coming up and things like that, and going to conferences and things
Yeah.
like that. Write books, like stuff. Yeah.
Do you hope like you could take any projects like abroad? Have you ever, or across state lines?
Wait a minute, I forgot our biggest project of all. As soon as you said that,
Oh,
the music program has a trip to Italy. Y'all, both of y'all sign up. We're going to Italy in June.
oh, and you just said you were there, and didn't you say that you were there before?
I've been right there before. Yeah, we
Okay.
people just travel and stuff like that. But so you asked me, do we have any projects? I'm going like and then thank you for traveling abroad. Duh.
The biggest one, the biggest international one.
Come on. Thank you for helping me.
You're welcome. I already knew
Okay,
that, but I was just getting you with a question.
See, that's because you're interviewer. I'm going to start calling you Oprah. Okay, you already know the answer. Hello.
I just wanted to, or you could say that. I could bring it out of you. But okay, so things like that. Is there any more things that you wish you could do with the program itself,
Well,
even internal or?
Yeah, introduce the music education. So we're going to be working on right now recruiting and introducing our teachers in the area that we have a music education program for graduating seniors who are interested in going to music education will be doing. So that's a major thing. We're also, Dr. DeSanto, he's my colleague, is also working in developing very strongly our commercial music minor. So when I say this, a music business minor, that in the music program, we are aggressively looking for avenues that will interest and help students who are in music now, who want to major in music, who love music. Those are 2 major projects for our program. Individually, when I say about going to conferences and things like that, certainly I'm trying to think, both Dr. DeSanto and I, but we were both made presentations for the Pan-African Society of Music Educators. We've all been to the International Society of Music Educators. When we say make presentations, that also helps the school's reputation. That also helps in terms of recruitment and serving on international committees. That also helps. That's part of academia, right? Now, as far as Beverly personally, shoot, I like to get back and sing and make myself a CD.
Oh, not a CD.
I
love that. That
I,
needs to
but you know what I'm
happen.
saying? I like to be on Spotify. The next time you call, next time we have this part 2 of the interview, you'll say, well, Bev, I heard you. I said, thank you, baby.
I heard you was
I like to do.
I heard you was #1 on the charts.
Oh, see there, you know what? Okay, both of y'all supposed to help me, okay? The backup singer, do do ba, I do do ba, I do do ba. I heard that.
No, but I love that. That's a beautiful goal. I
Yeah,
like that a lot.
yeah, yeah.
So do you see yourself here at Stockton for however long you can go, or do you see yourself, venturing off and enjoying your own
I
personal?
see myself as Stockton as long as it's supposed to be, and also venturing off. I like to do both at the same time.
Okay.
Venture off and step, venture off and step, right? So however life goes, it's like you're constantly growing, and so. But I really enjoy my life in Stockton. But uh, I also know that Providence or God, you don't know what the next day is going to bring, right? So if you call me and say, "Bill, I thought you were still in Stockton," I said, "Girlfriend, I am in Paris." You don't know how right. We don't know how life goes. Both of you guys as well. So always staying open, fresh, and getting the ideas that we bring from Stockton and education with my colleagues and people like you, and then taking it all over the world.
I love that. I love that. That concludes my questions. I don't know if Jordan has any questions. Are you good, Jordan?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think hit every single point.
She did every single point. Go, Ashley. 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 She hit each point.
After.
Yes, but you are a pleasure to interview, and I was really hoping to meet you like that, and just to gain a little bit more knowledge about how you are here at Stockton and why you chose Stockton and things like that. But I'm pretty sure Stockton loves to have you and doesn't want to let you go.
Well, okay, did you hear that? Everybody? Okay, no, but be that as and I'm very happy. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the family that I feel here at Stockton. But Jordan, you should be thankful, and Ashley, you should be thankful. And I want to make sure before we end this interview that you all both feel a part of Stockton. Is there something that we can give to you, Ashley? Is there something that we can give to you, Jordan, that will make your experience even more memorable, even stick more into your hearts?
Okay, this is the question. For me, no. I mean, I've gained everything I can from Stockton so far.
Okay.
I'm like I said, I'm in my second year. I'm trying to get through these
I'm
hard
also in my
classes.
second year. So yeah,
What about you, Jordan?
I'm also in my second year. So I mean, I don't think so. With Corona, my first year.
Oh, guys, that's right. I just forgot about Corona your first year. Oh my goodness. So you got to get that reacclimation to the campus and stuff like that. Plus,
Yeah, I mean, that was hard. It was definitely hard, like meeting friends and getting involved.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I did what I could do. So
yeah.
I mean, it's definitely better this year. I feel like I'm
Good. And that's been my hope for you too. I forgot about Corona virus, but I am COVID. But I am so proud of you too. I'm proud that you're doing the interview. I'm proud that you did your research. I mean, you remind me of things I forgot, right? But be that, this is wonderful. And I just hope that the continuation of your experience at Stockton will grow and be better and better, even as beautiful as you two are.
Thank you so much. You don't have to compliment us this much. we came here to compliment you and to
Come on, guys.
it was all about you. We're like, oh,
well, thank you.
I got blessed. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
nice talking to you.
It was nice.
Okay, now listen. When we see each other on campus, when we run into you, you're supposed to say, "It's me." I'm gonna go interview. It's me. Interview. When we actually see each other face to face, right? We're gonna go like, "Wow!"
If I hear you in your class again, I'm gonna have to just peek my head like this.
Knock on the door and walk in and say, "I'm Ash." Oh yeah. I'm George. Yeah. Ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We hope you have a good rest of your day and a good
Thank you.
rest of the year.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.